Good evening. I'm calling this meeting to order. The time is 5:31 p.m. in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. This meeting is officially open with a quorum present. We will move straight into public comment. At this time, we will hear public comment addressing items on the agenda. Let me remind each of you that because of restrictions by the Texas Open Meetings Act, board members may not engage in a verbal exchange about a subject that has not been posted. We will, however, listen and take notes, but this board is prohibited from responding to any inquiries made during a board meeting on any topic not posted on the agenda. However, the board may reply with 1, a statement of specific factual information given in response to the inquiry, 2, recitation of existing policy in response to the inquiry, or 3, direct the person to visit with staff about the issue. While this board listens to concerns of a general nature, speakers should practice normal rules of decorum. Vulgar language and profanity will not be tolerated, as this is a public meeting and our students are watching. Additionally, disruptions in the meeting will not be tolerated. We ask the audience to refrain from interrupting speakers while they present to the board during this portion of the meeting. Any employee, parent, or other member of the public is asked to comply with the appropriate grievance policy to have a complaint heard pursuant to the applicable board policy. No presentation may exceed 3 minutes. As soon as the speaker begins, the time clock will start. The time clock is to my right, to your left. Furthermore, a speaker may not relinquish his or her time to another speaker. It is essential to gain as much public input as possible, and we understand together we are stronger and build better solutions when we maximize public input. I ask that you please observe these rules for the purpose of effectively accomplishing the business of the meeting in a timely manner. I'd also like to make note that Trustee Roxanne Martinez is on the screen. She could not be here with us tonight, but she is here with us virtually. Our first speaker is Mike C. Mr. C. Mr. C will be followed by Scott Blanco Davis. Scott Blanco Davis. Scott Blanco Davis will be followed by Meredith Bowman.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. Actually, I had another speech, and then I understood we were going to be maybe welcoming our new superintendent, so I wanted to say bienvenidos, Dr. Ramsey. And I'm really glad to have someone new coming in. What I would like to ask, and I'm kind of doing this as a teacher, is that as Dr. Ramsey comes in, we take pride in what's here in Fort Worth, and we begin to look at the great things we have going in Fort Worth, instead of looking outside of Fort Worth for all of our answers. I would like to see the great programs we have that are working, not just looked at, but taken pride in and duplicated. I can tell you, I've worked at a school that we got recognized, and within a week, someone told us we couldn't do that again because they were bringing in an outside program. And I've been in a school that we got an award for 6th in the state for closing the achievement gap. And I got the same message. We have an outside program coming in. So all I ask is, Dr. Ramsey, when you come in, please look at the amazing things we have going on in Fort Worth. Please look at the successes, and let's take and build on what Fort Worth has. Because so many times we look for something outside when we have the perfect answer right here within our grasp. I would like to ask that this superintendent, when you come in, take pride in what we have, look at what's working, speak to the people that are doing the work, find out what we need, and make Fort Worth the place it used to be. I helped with Tabe a long time ago when Ramon Magallanes was still here. And it was a pride that people from all over the state and all over the world were coming to look at our programs and bust out to the schools to see what we were doing. And I want to see Fort Worth back to that spot again. So as we work together, I am hoping this superintendent is going to do something I haven't seen in a long time, and take pride in Fort Worth and see what we have to give and take it beyond what it is to where we used to be as a leader in education. I'd like to thank you for your time. I'd like to thank you for my time here. Y'all have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Meredith Bowman will be followed by Dr. Michael Bell, who will be followed by Todd Daniel.
Good evening, board members and public. My name is Meredith Bowman. I'm mother to Fort Worth ISD taxpayer, Fort Worth ISD teacher. According to the Fort Worth ISD Leadership Profile Report for our new superintendent, it was noted that the community wanted a leader who has a quote-unquote track record of success in closing achievement gaps. I was up here a few weeks talking about the facts that prove that Dr. Ramsey does not have a record of success in closing gaps of achievement. As a board, you seem to be choosing someone who you want, not who the people who represent the people. I would also like to point out that we had to accept the recent measly votes of 600 people in not one but two districts for school board. And we had to accept the 54 vote lead in favor of the Proposition A bond. Because that's who showed up and voted. What you're telling us and showing us now is that you are not accepting the input from those who showed up and participated in the superintendent search meetings back in May. And you are also asking us to believe that you received many private emails and had many private conversations in opposition to over 1,000 people in those meetings. We are also being asked to believe that these emails and conversations outweighed over 1,000 community members who showed up in May at all the search meetings. This large group wanted classical education, discipline, and safety as a priority, not mental behavioral health, as Dr. Ramsey does. As a board member, you do represent your constituents and not your own agendas. It is your job as a whole to listen to the people, and especially over 1,000 people who showed up in person, to voice the most important qualities in a superintendent that they like. I know several of you are up for re-election soon. I would like to remind you that those 1,000 who attended those meetings back in May will remember this decision that you make. I am hoping that this helps to deter you from making a mistake for all of our children, our teachers, and the community by hiring Dr. Ramsey. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Dr. Michael Bell will be followed by Mr. Todd Daniel, will be followed by Mr. Joe Palmer.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Many of us from my neck of the woods celebrate this board's unanimous choice of Dr. Angelica Ramsey as the next superintendent of Fort Worth Schools. Dr. Ramsey has a reputation as a change agent, someone who will keep student improvement and achievement center stage. Her contention that, and I'm quoting, that equity means that every child receives what they need, end quote, to succeed, that contention speaks volumes. Fort Worth ISD's student body is majority-minority. The district's minority enrollment is 90%. Also, 62.3% of students are economically disadvantaged, and the appointment of Dr. Ramsey reflects that this school board gets it on some level. My texts, phone calls, and face-to-face meetings with community stakeholders suggest that we're ready to actively support Dr. Ramsey and this board in improving the outcome of students of all backgrounds and abilities and prioritizing equitable classrooms where all students can thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Todd Daniel will be followed by Joe Palmer, and our final speaker will be Janie Ginn.
Good evening. I'm frustrated because I've been told by a board member that some of the parents and taxpayers that come here are only here for gotchas. I've been to nearly every board meeting for the last year, and I think that's disrespectful. What I want Dr. Angelica Ramsey to understand is, according to the Fort Worth report, more than 1 out of 3 students in Fort Worth met grade level in 2022. basically 64% did not. That is the bottom line. All the other shiny objects are irrelevant. I want her to understand that she's coming into a district that has problems. It also has some problems on its board and within its administration. She can't do anything about the board, and there are good people within the board and within the administration, but she's going to have to find out what that is and work with those that will work with her. I don't think that, according to Fort Worth Star-Telegram, from Army to Fort Worth Superintendent Angelica Ramsey's career is a rocket ride. I don't think we want a rocket ride. I don't even think we want rocket scientists. We want third graders that can read. We don't want, I don't know where her husband is going to land when he comes to DFW, but we don't want SEL for everyone. And we don't want him to be with vendors of the district or promoters of that. And we don't want trips to the other SEL coalition, School Superintendents Association, American Institutes of Research, American School Counselors, the list goes on and on. We want more transparency. We don't want the district to use open records requests as a firewall for things that they're uncomfortable answering. Everything in education is measured, including the money, including the grades, everything. And without it, without metrics to measure things, we cannot fix anything. The standard that we get when we ask things from the district are ask for an open records request, whether that's really required or not. That buys time and it delays things. I asked the other day, the finance department, you guys, when you approve things, have a funding code. It's a long group of digits, 3 of the columns have what you call local codes. Those are proprietary to Fort Worth ISD. Every school district has them. Some school districts put them on their website so that everybody can see them. I asked for those codes so that I can understand funding. You have trustees that are publicly saying that they can't get information.
Mr. Joe Palmer will be followed by Janie Ginn.
Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker, members of the board. Joe Palmer, I'd like to support what Todd was just saying. I think we need measurable criteria in place by which to measure the incoming superintendent. I'm not going to argue with you on the candidate or who I wish you'd picked, but we do need in the contract, and I've asked for this before, measurable criteria. If somebody hired me to make vehicles, make automobiles, and they came off the assembly line upside down, on fire, no engine in them, and the board brought me before them and said, we have an issue, the cars are not coming out sellable, I would say, well, according to what you described, that's true, but let's take a look at all of these other good things that I was able to do. I improved pay for the auto workers, people get 2 hours for lunch. You would be right to not accept that as a defense. And so the reason it matters here is you got to have measurable criteria so that along the way, you'll be able to hold the superintendent accountable for what we expect of them. Educating the children, just educate the children. And it leads me to my next point, which is the Racial Equity Committee. It was Martin Luther King who once said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And I would like to ask each one of you to answer the following question. Is it conducive to justice to have secret committee meetings? The Racial Equity Committee meetings are secret, and so I want a superintendent who will open up those meetings, but much more important than that, I want a school board and I want a contract with the superintendent that will restore a representative government in this institution. People come up here one after another. They want the superintendent to do this. They want him to do that. They want a messiah. I want a representative government. That's what every person in this district voted for when they voted for you. That's what all your campaign literature said, was that you were going to represent the people. Didn't say on your campaign literature you're going to appoint somebody and let them do everything and steamroll you on every single policy. Every living soul that can fog a mirror knows why the Racial Equity Committee meetings are secret. It's because the last one that you did let the parents attend, the chair rightfully knows that he answered questions and those questions didn't shine a good light on y'all. The most important question that was asked was, are you aware of a school district anywhere in the country that has implemented the kinds of policies that this committee is trying to implement here and has been successful? And the answer was no, I am not aware of anywhere. So if you want a racial equity committee and you want to burn through $2.2 million of our money, make the meetings open. In fact, I would like my trustee to make a motion at tonight's meeting to instruct the chair of that committee to make those meetings open. And I would like a second, and I would like a vote for the benefit of the public.
Thank you. Janie Ginn?
I'm just going to be brief tonight, Board. Thank you again for working very quickly and efficiently. When Hazard Young said that they would be able to have a candidate for us by the end of the summer, I kind of didn't believe them because in the past that process has taken a lot longer. So I think you've done a really good job on that. I want to say welcome to Dr. Ramsey. Looking forward to working with her and to improve this school district. I think that's what you're hearing from everybody. We all want to see our children do better. I'm going to bring back a vision that was shared with this board years ago. Dr. Rodriguez may remember it, and hope that she will bring this to fruition by actually seeing the students. I know data is important and we look at data, but those are numbers on a page. They're not the faces and the attitudes and the characteristics of the children that we have in our schools. And the vision that I'd like to share is igniting in all children a passion for learning. It's sorely needed. I don't see a lot of passion for learning right now, so I'm really hoping that she can bring that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Ginn. Is Mr. Michael C. here? Okay, the time is 5:48 p.m. The date's Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. This board will now recess and reconvene for executive session as authorized under Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, under Chapter Sections 551, 071, 2, 4, and 6.
Don't run. I need you to herd them in. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you going to arrange them, Barbara? Are you going to arrange them for me? No. I trust you. Go. Right in the middle. Everybody scrunch up a little bit. Don't be afraid to just sneak back into your neighbor there. Just sort of, there you go. Wonderful, guys. There you go. Now, a few shots. We'll count down from 3. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And one more. 3, big smile. 3, 2, 1. Big day. There you go.
In accordance with the open meetings law, the board opened the meeting at 5:31 p.m. with a quorum present, recessed, reconvened open session, adjourned regular session, convened executive session, adjourned executive session, now reconvened open session at 6:38 p.m. with a quorum present. Before we begin on action item 6, I want to say thank you. I want to give the board an opportunity to say thank you. Dr. 2B, who was our deputy superintendent, who has filled in as our interim superintendent, Karen Molinar, has done an exceptional job for the students of this district, for the employees, and for the board. And I just want to say thank you. From the process of searching for another superintendent, she has made this such an easy process, and it's not, it's an arduous process. But thank you so very much. All right, moving on to action item A, consider and take action to approve the superintendent's employment contract and other related agreements for Dr. Angelica Ramsey. Do I have a motion, Trustee Dar?
Yes, you do. I move to approve the superintendent's contract and other related agreements as discussed in closed session.
Do I have a second? Trustee Luebanos, second. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, let's move to voting. And do we have Trustee Martinez, and can we see her vote? She's got thumbs up. And I see her vote, too. Okay, I think we should all do a thumbs up, too. This is a good thing. Okay, and the motion passes unanimously. Welcome, Dr. Ramsey. Dr. Ramsey will make her way around the dais, and then she'll be back, just in time to gavel out.
have 3 pens.
Oh, that's good. That's excellent.
Dr. Ramsey, hold on.
Okay.
Sort of round it up. Ray, if we could just sort of part the wave somewhere around Toby this way, so Dr. Ramsey's in the middle. Toby, you'd be on this side.
I'll go right over here.
There you go. Everybody sort of gather in a little bit. A little more split there. Don't be afraid to come around so you can see just what's going on. Man,
Oh, you
if I
know
could have you
what?
go
It's
that
really
way
good
just
if
a
we really
dinge.
lean
There
right
we
in.
go.
We should get closer for real. It really is. It's better.
And if I could bring you, Toby, I want to bring you out just a tad.
Got it.
You ready for me, or we're doing this?
I think we are good to go.
Okay. All right.
Let's sign again.
Keep that pen.
Official and done.
Yes,
Oh,
I will.
It's official.
It is done.
Thank you. All right, take us. Ready, Dana?
As y'all make your way back around, if anybody wants to punch in and say a couple of words. Trustee Dr. Camille Rodriguez.
Thank you. The great Cesar Chavez once asserted, "We cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about progress and prosperity for our community. Our ambitions must be broad enough to include the aspirations and needs of others, for their sakes and for our own." Tonight, Fort Worth ISD enters an exciting new chapter as Dr. Angelica Ramsey just signed her contract. I know that Dr. Ramsey is looking forward to meeting with each of you, working with you, learning with you, and as one speaker stated tonight, making this school district the best it can be for all our students. Already, Dr. Ramsey is planning gatherings throughout the Fort Worth ISD community. I truly hope you will be part of this new chapter for Fort Worth ISD, because it will take all of us to ensure all our students succeed and prosper. We must recommit to our future, our next generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Trustee Evans?
I just want to say, welcome to Fort Worth ISD, Dr. Ramsey. Look forward to working with you and the whole board to re-examine our student outcome goals and to further develop those so we can go from a B district to an A district.
Thank you, Trustee Evans. Trustee Dar?
Thank you, President Jackson. Dr. Ramsey, welcome to Fort Worth. I think you will find that it is a remarkable place to live and to grow and to be in community. It is a great place for families to raise children and for students to learn. One of the things that I remember very specifically about Dr. Ramsey's interview, and one of the very first things she said as we were going through this process, is that Fort Worth has, and Fort Worth ISD, has all the pieces, and now we need to put them all in the right place. And there is an exceptional foundation that has been laid. It was mentioned tonight by Mr. Davis, Mr. Blanco Davis, who spoke, in that there are great things going on in Fort Worth ISD. We need to capitalize on them and continue to move that needle. So welcome to Fort Worth. I too look forward to working with you and as we make this district the best that it can be. Thank you.
Welcome, Dr. Ramsey. And if we have no other comments, I can't think of anything better to do. Trustee Luevanos?
Thank you, President Jackson. Dr. Angelica Ramsey, bienvenida. Welcome to Fort Worth ISD. I know the community is excited to meet you. The people that I have spoke to, they are waiting for their chance for them to be to have a meeting with you and to see the great things that we have and how can we go from an B to an A.
Thank you, Trustee Luebanos. Trustee Bridges.
Welcome, Dr. Ramsey. I am extremely excited of the great things that you are going to have an opportunity to do. I look forward to seeing the passion that you had during the interviewing process, and that excitement that I wanted to fold my folder up and say, let's go to work right now, because I just felt it's contagious, and anyone that's around you will feel that passion. So I look forward to the great things we have an opportunity to do.
Thank you, Trustee Bridges. Dr. Ryan?
Well, I also welcome you. We're glad you're here. I would ask that everybody that comes to these meetings, the people that watch, that they would commit themselves to going out and helping in our community, to go to the schools, to work in the schools, to tutor in the schools. We need that from everybody, and we're glad you're here to lead all this administration in this interesting group of people that's on the board. It's going to be fun.
Thank you, Dr. Ryan. Trustee Phillips.
Thank you, President Jackson. I wasn't even going to say nothing, but since all y'all going to say something, yes. Dr. Ramsey, welcome to Fort Worth. Much like my colleague said, we are elated to have you, and you're the right person. You're the right person in the right time, and it's about these students. That's it. I know you know that. I know that's why you have my confidence, is because that's what it's about. We got a lot of other stuff, but it's about the students, and I know you keep them first, and I'm excited to see what that looks like in action.
Thank you, Trustee Phillips. I, too, will say welcome, and would you like to say a few words? I'm sorry, we didn't give you the update.
I'm a quick learn. Thank you. Thank you for the confidence. Thank you to staff that's here. I'm uber excited to be starting, and the work begins tomorrow. And the work that's going to begin tomorrow is visiting schools on my very first day. That's what I said I was going to do. That's how I lead. And that's how we're starting to hear from our teachers, to talk to our students, to start having those conversations in an informal setting so that we can build trust, so that we can have the ability to have those deeper conversations about what our community thinks we do really well and where our community thinks that we need to improve. There's always room for improvement, and we're on our way to being an A district. I completely continue to agree. All of the ingredients are already here. We have a community that's vested and invested in the betterment of the children in Fort Worth. We have amazing educators. I get to see them on social media every single day, the great things they're doing in classrooms, and I can't wait to get out there day one and just hit the ground running, talking to our students and really listening to what our educators and our students are saying they need from us, because we need to stop as a system doing things to people instead of doing things with them and for them. And so I'm really excited. I'm happy to be here. Thank you all for the amazing welcome, and let's get to work.
Thank you. And on those words, Superintendent Ramsey will call this adjourned.